Edge, I'm Max Kaiser. Time now to go and visit with the infamous, no, I should say the famous, the trend-setting, the trends researcher, the one and only Gerald Celente. Gerald, welcome to On the Edge.
Hey, Max. Great being on with you. Thanks for having me.
I couldn't help but notice that white jacket you've got on. What's the story there, Gerald?
Well, I understand that the IMF is looking for a new head, so I'm going to try out for it, so I wanted to put the correct outfit on. Because after all the IMF is the International Mafia Federation. They're nothing more than the loan sharks of last resort. So, but they dress the part differently, so I figured, being that, they're looking for someone now, I'll try out for it. I know how to do this. Here's what they do. They go into a country that's really desperate, they can't borrow a dime anywhere, and the IMF comes in and they say, hey, I'll loan you the money. And you say, but how are you going to pay me back? Well, you know what, you tax the people. You put more taxes on them. And then you tax the people, you don't get enough, and they say, listen, I'm not getting enough money. I want the bridge. You want the bridge. I want the bridge. I want the highway. I want the water supply. Capiche? It's the International Mafia Federation. They're nothing more than shakedown artists. So I figured out, being that you have an international show, maybe someone from the IMF will see that, I have what it takes to get what they want. Maybe I can get the job.
From what you're saying, Gerald, you would agree then with folks like John Perkins, who wrote that book, Confessions of an Economic Hitman. They basically make the loans. If you can't make the payments on the loans, they come in there, they break your legs, or they actually assassinate you, correct?
Exactly. That's all they are. They're the loan sharks of last resort. And everybody holds it. But you see, they know how to dress in public. And they know how to behave. And they have these wonderful names, like these Legrand names with 3 names attached to them, like Dominique Strauss-Kahn. Of course, I don't know if this guy is guilty of raping that woman, but whether or not, it's what the IMF does. They're either raping a person or raping a country.
Yeah, well, this is part and parcel of a global banking syndicate, right? It's not just the IMF, but it's the World Bank, too, also the Wall Street banks and the central banks and the Bank of International Settlements, which is kind of the capo de capo of all the mafia banks, isn't it, Gerald?
That's all it is. You said it perfectly. That's all it is, and the people are never going to be free until we break the banks. Break the banks and bring down the bigs, or else you're just going to be a chained slave to the system because they got you where they want you. They have you in debt thanks to Senator Joe Biden at the time, the senator from the loophole state in Delaware. He made it impossible for you to get out. So whether it's the student, the person with the mortgage, or the country going under, they got you. The banksters are in control. It's the mafia of mafias.
What's happening? You talk about banking, Gerald Celente. There was a lot of talk after the 2008 crash for reform of the banking system, and yet we haven't seen any. So going forward, is it too late for reform? Is the window for reform closed? Will we see any reform at all?
You won't see any change at all as long as the Republicans and Democrats, again, just another element of the family, of the crime syndicate. And matter of fact, Max, I've come to the conclusion that the only possible solution out of all of this, whether it's the U.S., the U.K., Spain, Italy, France, Germany, Greece, you name the country, Ireland, the only way out is through a direct democracy. We, the people, have to vote on issues of health care, on issues of war, on issues of bailouts, on issues of regulation, of major importance. Let the people vote, because this isn't a representative form of government. You could tell little kids in high school it is, that your senator and congressman represent you. They represent the people that give them the most amount of money so they could stuff into their pockets. When are you going to grow up? The Congress is nothing but a bunch of wieners. Does anybody have to look any further? So the only way out of this, Max, and this is going to be my campaign from this point forward, let the people vote. Let the people vote. We have no constitution left in the country, so we don't have to make believe that we're rejigging the Constitution. It's been decimated already. Let's reformulate it for the 21st century. Listen, if you could bank online, you could vote online. This could really be simple.
Okay.